The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Hussain Qazi here, your FM facilitator. Candidates, this video is the topic about risk management and particularly foreign exchange risk management. The topic is very much interested. Um, in fact, one of my most favorite topic in finance world, in the finance subject, and we will discuss this topic accordingly. So, what is about the topic? As per its name, Forex, foreign exchange. And another thing is that risk management. Risk management. So, the topic is foreign exchange, risk management. Foreign exchange, Forex, risk management. So, number one, first of all, important thing is that why the business face foreign exchange risk. Number one, in a very layman aspect, with reference to business contacts, with reference to business contacts, with reference to business context, with reference to business context, how the company faces the risk of the foreign exchange. How the company faces the foreign exchange risk. So, number one, first thing is to understand foreign exchange risk. First thing is Forex risk. Another point is risk management strategies. First of all, we have to understand that what is about foreign exchange risk. Candidates, is very simple. If the company make a transaction or make a regular transaction based on FC, foreign currency, so definitely there is an exposure of the risk. Let's suppose if a company import some raw material in foreign country with the foreign currency base, import raw material and payment with the foreign currency, and payment will be made after some time. For example, payment terms is 2 months. Payment term is 2 months. So what is the foreign exchange risk here? Definitely, if we import the raw material and payment terms in 2 months time, so our standing is now payment in 2 months time. What will be the risk? Risk is that when we will make payment after 2 months, it may be possible the foreign currency value, the value of foreign currency increases, or other way around, local currency value become decreases. Same points with two different contexts. The risk that foreign currency will increase or local currency value decreases. In both situations, we have to pay more local currency for the same foreign currency. Let's make an example. Our local currency is Australian dollars. Our local currency is Australian dollars, and for foreign currency is sterling. Now, for example, we are a Australian based company, and we regularly import some raw material from England. And now the spot is, let's suppose, Australian dollars 1.82 per sterling. Australian dollars 1.82 per sterling. So, and we have to pay, for example, we have to pay 100,000 sterling after 2 months. After 2 months. So what is the risk? Risk is that at that moment, foreign currency means sterling value become increases, or local currency means Australian dollar become decreases. In any in same case, for example, after 2 months, if for example sterling worth increases, so being as a local person of Australia, I have to pay more Australian dollars after 2 months. Where right now I can buy, each sterling 1.82 Australian dollars. But after some time, after 2 months, it may possible that rate of sterling increases and I have to pay more Australian dollars against one sterling. So that is what the risk, we are facing in term of imports. Same case possibility in the case of export. It's also possible. This is number one scenario that we have discussed. The another scenario, it also possible. For example, our local currency same Australian dollars. We are Australian based company. Foreign currency sterling, and we regular sale to UK. For example, in 3 months credit. And for example, we have sold some value of 50,000 sterling, which we will get after 3 months. So now what we have a risk? We have a risk that the local currency in future become increases, or foreign currency sterling become decreases. Whenever we get sterling, after some time I will convert in my local currency and I will get lesser Australian dollars. Means weaker the foreign currency and stronger the local currency. There's a risk. Two different separate things. Two different separate things. Import aspect and export. So candidates, what we have discussed till now, if we are going to study the foreign exchange risk management, foreign exchange risk management. So number one, what in business context, what risk we faces? What risk we faces? The foreign forex risk, for example, the company based on some transactions, and whatever the transactions we have discussed now, these are the short-term transactions, 2 months, 3 months. It may be possible sometimes the transactions are longer term. For example, if you are going to invest some money in the foreign country for 10 years and you have a plan to invest the money in foreign country and collect the money by remittance over the long term period of time, but we will discuss later about this. So either short term, either long term, these are transactions. Number two, candidates, as you know that risk is always about future. Risk is always about future. Risk is always about futures. Candidates, you know very well about the term risk. Risk term is about actually future. It's about the future. And now going towards, after some moment, we will discuss the point risk management. Risk management. But before entering the details of the risk management, first of all, very important thing you have to clear, important thing is that the forex, foreign exchange risk, arises for following three reasons: transaction risk, translation risk, and economic risk. Candidates, as already I have provided you the notes, it's mentioned that what is that meaning in theoretical context. If I'm going to discuss a little bit about it, transaction risk. Do remember, we are not here right now discuss about the risk management. We are here to discuss what risk the company faces related to foreign exchange. Number one risk, that is transaction. Whatever we have discussed till now in the video, that is the transaction risk. Whatever we have discussed till now, that is called the transaction risk. Means the company engage in foreign currency based transaction, either in term of import, either in term of export, means either in term of payments or in term of receives. The company faces the challenges or risk the movement of foreign currency values. So as an importer or as an exporter, the company faces the risk in business context. Or for long-term investment, where a long-term projects exist, the company faces the risk in case of the remittance of the cash flows. So that means the company involves in foreign currency based transaction and faces the risk. That is transaction risk. Two more risk is considered here, but to remember, only the aspect of theory is considerable here. Only the point of theory is considerable here, and that is translation risk. Translation. What is the meaning of translation? Translation means, for example, you are a company in Australia and there are a subsidiary in England. You are a parent company in Australia and you are a subsidiary in England. Each year end, you need to consolidate the accounts of your foreign subsidiary. So you have to translate. If you translate if your subsidiary records a transaction in sterling and you are in Australia, so you have to translate the sterling accounts into Australian dollars. That's called translation risk. Do remember, translation risk is not actually translation risk is actually unrealized expect losses. Sorry, translation risk is about unrealized losses. Means it's not based cash based. It's not cash based. It's unrealized. Means if the subsidiary account translated, so that means balance sheet items or income statement items having a translation gain or loss, but it's not actually based cash based. Number three, the economic risk. Economic risk means some of the macro, means economic issues affect to the foreign exchange, either local, either international. For example, I am a Australian based national, and some macro uh, due to some macro situations, macro indicator, for example, due to the reason of monetary or fiscal policy, the Australian dollars value fluctuates. So it's hit to my transactions, it hit to my translation. But due to economic exposure, either locally or internationally, maybe it's possible I'm Australian based company and some um, activities by USA or UK affect to the, or China affect to the economic exposure worldwide and affecting to the currencies, and it's affected to Australian economy and hit to the Australian dollars. That's macro issue but international. So this is economic risk. So candidates actually, we will work out accordingly the transaction risk. Candidates, I have also attached a document of translation, the theoretical aspect, that's theory with an example calculation. Translation, that's theory, one calculation with example, another theoretical aspect as well, and economic, pure theoretical. Attached in this document, you can read here, and if you have any query, you can ask me on the WhatsApp. It's very simple. We will continue the aspect with the transaction risk. We will continue the aspect with the transaction risk. So candidates, now the important thing is to start the topic, that is foreign exchange risk management. Although we have identified what the risk we are talking about, now the topic is what foreign exchange risk management it's about. Number one, candidates, listen carefully. For the time being, take one example where we are not considering the term foreign exchange. Actually, I wanted to discuss something important related to risk management. Risk management. Candidates, risk management. Whenever, whenever, as a businessman or as an individual, we faces the risk. So first of all, we have to identify the risk. Huh? Then we move towards the risk management. What does that mean? Let's take an example. For example, in our normal life, there is an activity. For example, we purchase a car. We purchase a car, new brand new car, Mercedes, and we have made a transaction and involved an activity to drive the car. So we, of course, we are facing a risk that in future when I will drive the car, it may be possible that some damages may occur where I will face the loss, or in case um, any of the area something some car parts or even a car may be stolen. So these are the damages I am expecting, especially accidents. So what option I have about this risk? One thing, that is do nothing. Yes, it's an option, that's do nothing. Whatever the situation will be, I will handle it according. If the damage occur, okay, no issue at all, I will handle it. And number two, no, insured. Insured means you have transferred the risk by regular or against regular premium. For example, we have made an arrangement of 5 years insurance for 5 years. So number one, risk identification. Number two, management. Management is something different as compared to do nothing. Do nothing is also the part of management, but right now we are discussing management in terms of insured. We need to insured. Insured is one type of category of the management, where um, I will transfer the risk to someone else. But if we decided to transfer the risk, for example, insurance, what will be the consequences? Now and in future, I'm expecting some loss here, accident. I repeat, we are here to discuss for the time being, right now, what will be the possible situation. We are standing now. In future, accident happens, yes, and to possibility accidents not happen. But in any of the case, we have to pay the premium over the period of time. If we pay the premium and accident happens, so loss will be covered accordingly. But if we pay the premium and accidents not happen, means the loss we are expecting that's not occur. then we will not allowed to make any regret. That's why at the end of the day you said that why I made the payment for the premium. We will never say that. So even the loss which we were expecting at the date of insurance, that's happened or not happened, our situation in the both case become flat. Our situation in both case is flat. If accident occur, loss compensated. If not occurred, the loss is premium. I hope you people are getting the point. This is what the characteristics of insurance. After insurance, our position become indifferent. Our position become flat. Do remember one thing. So we are going to discuss the foreign exchange risk management. First, we have identified the risk, that is the movement of currency, either movement of currency and hitting to us either as an importer as an exporter. So what protection risk management means? Risk management, foreign exchange risk management, that we are not accepting this position, do nothing. We are not we have not like in a manner that's in a position to okay, we will um, face the things, what will happen. No, we are going to the risk management, and one of the categories insurance. One of the category, not necessary that all the category of risk management is insurance. A lot of more techniques exist. So whenever uh, the whenever the resemble of the concept starts with insurance, I will tell you accordingly. But right now, no. I'm not discussing the term insurance. But yes, do remember, we are discussing risk management, which is other than do nothing. That means if we are an importer and we have to pay some foreign exchange after some time, so we need to make some risk management strategies where do nothing is not an option. We are not here to open the risk. Now, what are these things? Quickly, risk management strategies are categorized as follows. Number one and number two, some internal strategies. Some internal strategy. For example, number one, the currency invoice. What does that mean? For example, I'm Australian based company. Australian company. And I have made a transaction with UK supplier. But the invoice we have made, invoice is in Australian dollars. Australian dollars means local currency. We have made international transaction, foreign transaction with the UK supplier for the payment, but invoice is local currency. It is possible. Maybe the case of the receipt as well. So if a company make a transaction of foreign currency based on local currency, that means situation of no risk. Strategy made also foreign currency, but there is no, also foreign transaction, but no involvement of foreign currency. That's possible. But this is possible in somewhere, but not all the time. But we are right now discussing the situations. Number two is netting. Netting is another strategy. For example, I'm Australian based company And today we have a meeting and sit together to determine the company's all foreign currency exposures, and we need to determine the strategy. Today's the meeting. The agenda is okay. Collect come on all departments. That's sales department, procurement department, all the departments, and we have to sit together to determine the all the transactions of the company which is foreign currency based, because we need to make a comprehensive strategy. So we have determined, for example, we have to pay. We are an Australian based company. In 2 months' time, payment of sterling 60,000. And in 2 months' time, receipt of 10,000. So that means payment with separate party, receipt with separate party. That's two transactions become net. And net exposure of net 50,000 payment. Net 50,000 payment. Net 50,000 payment. So we can net the transaction because the net of 10,000 having no exposure. If sterling strengthen, we will put a loss in payment. But gain in received. So net amount 10,000 is netted off. Netted off. So that is the point. In 2 months' time and all the things. But do remember, for netting, two things are important. Before netting, any two or more transactions are netted off if the currency base are common. Number one. If the currency bases are common. If the currency basis is not common, it's not possible to net off the transaction. Number two, the timings also are similar. For example, if the game is about 3 months, receive and 2 months payment, we cannot net off. Timing of the transaction and the nature of the currency, both are same. Number three, matching. We will discuss later on about the matching when we will discuss the money market hedging. Fourth one is leading and lagging. Lead. Upfront. For example, we have an exposure of this net 50,000 payment. Also, we have a time of 2 months. We can, and we have a risk that our local currency in 2 months' time will depreciate. So we have to pay more Australian dollars. So we are now negotiating with supplier, and I'm negotiating with the supplier that, Mr. Supplier, if I'm going to pay the net sterling of 50,000 right now, what discount you will provide to us? Because I have a fear in my mind, after 2 months, Australian dollar will be depreciated. So for 50,000 sterling, we have to pay more. So I can involve with the supplier with the immediate payment. Although immediate payment is not the rationale if we are getting 2 months supplier credit time period. But with negotiation and to save the foreign currency risk, I can make an arrangement of the lead. Same lead and lag. Lag means deferred. For example, same case. 2 months after, I am expecting that the Australian dollars means my local currency will stagnant. But in the current economy, there may be a situation after 2.5 months, means 15 days more. 2 months, 15 days more. After the 2 months and plus 15. Although we have a term of 2 months. But I am expecting that 2 months, 15 days more. 15 days more. There are some economic activity expecting in Australia where we are strongly expecting that Australian currency value become appreciate. And if this happens, for payment of sterling 50,000, I can get a huge advantage. So with the negotiation, with the supplier, with the negotiation with the supplier, we can leg the payment to maintain with by maintaining the reputation. And delaying, it's not the good tactic until unless we make a we can make a good negotiation with the supplier. So lead leg, it's based on negotiations. In same case, it may be possible in the with respect to the receipt as well. It's possible. Candidates, these are external strategies. These are these are internal strategy. Candidates, this is all about the internal strategy. For external strategies and more about the Forex, we will share you the next video very soon. So keep in touch with me. Thank you very much. Take care a lot.